Okay, students. So although when you go for the Spring Boot application, as I told you, basically it is used to make your web services, and the web services provides the data only. Data in most of the cases again in the JSON format. Okay, so you have to develop web services in such a way so that web service can receive the your JSON data and can give the response in the JSON format only, JSON data. Now, rest of the things depends on the client that what type of client you want to make. But then only here Spring Boot provides you the functionality so that you can make the views. But the views are created very separately, students. It is not like it will be integrated in your controller, means the web service that you created. Separately, you can use it. Generally, web services are consumed, as I told you, in your web browser in JavaScript. When we say JavaScript means I'm talking about your React, Angular, or jQuery, or your simple JavaScript code. So any or maybe suppose you are going for any mobile device, then Java code in Android or Kotlin code or Swift code, Objective-C code. So in these technologies, we can write the clients. In most cases, the clients are written in these technologies only. Okay, maybe it is JavaScript or any JavaScript framework like Angular, your React, or depends then. And as I told you, Android technologies or your iPhone technologies. But if you want, you can integrate your views here in your Spring Boot application. So that just like you call the views from your JavaScript code, as you told that you know how to call the your web services using your React. So in the React, obviously inbuilt functions are given, libraries are given. That is the inbuilt library, JavaScript library. So here you can use the JavaScript code so that you can call it. Integrating the React here won't be that much easy. Even I don't install on my this PC. So some time is needed for that purpose. So it is not possible that today we can conclude that part. Let me see. So what we will do, we will go for any simple JavaScript code over here so that using the jQuery so that we can use it. So that I will tell you exactly how to call it. And then when it comes to the calling from your React or Angular or maybe sophisticated your jQuery or JavaScript program or Android program or your iPhone program, you can call it. Fine. But think again, I would like to say exactly what I'm doing here. There is no view that is created till this point, but now I will make one view in which I will write the jQuery JavaScript code, simple code, okay? Even jQuery, I don't have that much exposure in the jQuery, okay? The React is okay, but that is not possible right now. Okay, so I will tell you how to create the view in the your Spring Boot application and then how to access that web service. Okay, web service will not provide the view student. Still Java means JSON code will be given, JSON data will be given. For that purpose, your Spring Boot has one tool known as a ThymeLib. ThymeLib is a kind of template similar to your JSP, you can say. Okay, just like your HTML code, HTML page we will make here. So ThymeLib is the library, or you can say simply a kind of tag library that will provide some of the tags to you so that you can interact with any web service, especially the web services which are created in the Spring Boot. So if you want to use the ThymeLib, again I'm telling using the ThymeLib, it is a kind of template student, okay? So using the ThymeLib, you can make the views and you in that view, you can call the web services. But again, ThymeLib will not call any Spring Boot web service directly. There you have to write the JavaScript code or Angular JS code or maybe your React code means jQuery code. Any code should be written over there. Ultimately, you have to go to that particular technology. It is just for the designing purpose. So we will use the ThymeLib any program over here. And then I will tell you how you can make the views. So let us do it now. How to integrate the view in your application. If you want, you can do it. But in that case, you have to explore the ThymeLib, but no need because it is not used frequently in the companies. You have to make the views using React or Angular. So no need to explore it. Just basic idea you should have that it is possible in the Spring Boot. That's it. Fine. So I will make one program here that is a Spring Boot program. So in the Spring Boot, Spring Starter project. Now the name, suppose I am giving TimeLeap view. Next, all the other things are needed, so I will include them, and I will not create the project from the scratch. Instead, I will take the existing project here, and then, sorry. So the template I will take here, TimeLeap. Next, finish. Now, first, let us complete our application properties. As I told you, application properties is the file where we will give the JDBC properties or your ORM means Hibernate properties or any other properties which are related to the server, your Apache Tomcat server. So such kind of things are given from here. Now, the next step is I will take it from any code here. And suppose I'm taking this one. Why only controller is okay? This is Hello app. These classes I will take now. Complete the application properties file. Okay. Now just look here, students, in the resources folder. Actually, there is a templates folder. Resources folder. There is a template folder. In this template folder, if you want, you can create the views. So actually, TimeLeap, as I told you, provides some of the text so that you can use your web services, which is created using your Spring Boot very easily here. But right now, I will tell you how these pages are called, because in the Spring Boot, we create the web services, and web services we call using the URL. In the Postman, if you remember, we used to give the URL, or in the web browser, we used to give the URL. How we can write it here, that we will discuss, because just try to understand. Their web services are called using URL. So how can we call the HTML page that we will make here? That I will tell you. So by default, index page will be called in case you use the TimeLeap. In case you use, so that must be present in your starter dependency. I will tell you. So new, I will make one HTML file here first. You should name it index only, because this is the file which is called automatically. So index.html. Next, finish. So when HTML page is created by us, this is the HTML page that we created. Its name is index.html. It is in the templates student. You can see over here. And as I told you, suppose your POM file contains the ThymeLeaf, your dependency, this starter dependency, this one. Okay, just look here, this one. Then index.html page, which is stored in the your templates folder, will be called automatically. You do not need to do anything for it. Getting things? If it is present, then only it will be called. Otherwise, you cannot call the views from your Spring Boot application. That you should remember, student. Okay. So here, if you want to make any designing, obviously you can make, and for that purpose, you should go for some JavaScript code or your jQuery code. Okay. And although we should go for the React code that we are not using right now over here. So what would we do? We will go for the jQuery code. I hope you will say that you are not comfortable. Don't worry. Even I'm not comfortable with jQuery. jQuery is not used that much, but then only to call a few web services so that you can test it can be used. Okay. Few number of lines code are needed. You can take it same as I will provide to you. Okay. So use it now. Okay, student, you can call in this way, but we will not call in this way. Reason being, in this case, what will happen? Directly HTML page will be submitted. Suppose you use any other, then you won't be able to use it properly. Then just wait. This is directly call, like we created the your HTML code, and in the HTML code, we are hitting the button so that post type of request can be generated and it can be called. Okay, so Are you aware about the Ajax, students? You know Ajax? Yeah, Ajax.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So that is good part. Fine. So if you want to use the jQuery, first thing is what? This is the inbuilt library, student. Right now we cannot integrate the Angular or React over here. For that purpose, we have to make the some install. We have to do some installation. Then we have to make the React project and your or your Angular project, and then only we can call it. So require time. But till then, I will tell you, using the jQuery, we can generate the Ajax request. And using the Ajax request, we can call the web services. Doesn't matter it is developed using which technology. So that is the approach we will use here. And you don't worry about it if you don't want to. You do not need to learn the jQuery, as I told you. It's a simple JavaScript library. You can understand the code which is written inside it. Even I will explain you. So for the practice, at least that you can understand, it can be called from any JavaScript code like your React or Angular or jQuery. You will get the idea. But jQuery code can be written directly in this HTML page, and then your web services can be called. That's why we'll go for this jQuery. So first thing is what? If you want to use the jQuery, then one thing is you should include this jQuery library in your HTML page, and you go for this version only, student, just because I will integrate it even in our dependencies. So first thing, this should be in your HTML page. This library should be included. For that purpose, you know very well script type. Then whatever is the type, text script, and then src. You give the URL for your JavaScript file name, actually, I should say. So this is what written over here. Next step is what? One dependency is needed here. And that should be copied and pasted because this is not integral part of your Java. So these are the external things, students. So you should include the dependency yourself. So now in the POM file, you also copy and paste. You take it from my project. So this dependency should be included here. You keep the version same. But for your React or Angular, you do not need to include any dependency because those will be very independent, separate projects. So let us include one dependency here. Save it. Now, next step. After adding the dependency, you need to write down some jQuery code here, and that will be written in this way. Just wait. Okay, so we will make one page, student, first. Yes, just HTML form we will make here. So here, you know very well that in our web services, what we are doing, if the record is being inserted or updated, we are sending one string as a response, that is success or something. Although we have written only success, there you can write if and else logic. Suppose not added, then failure. If added, then success. Such kind of thing can be written from you using the web services. But what we are returning, just pay attention here. In the controller, after, let us suppose, inserting the record, we are returning success, student, here. Look. So suppose this web service is called. After calling it, record will be added, and after adding the record, this success data we will get as a response. So that we will receive in the JavaScript code, and after receiving it, we want, suppose, to show it in any HTML tag. Then what should be done? So I'm making one division for that purpose, and there I'm just writing the feedback. One division is created, feedback is written here. In this, we will write that thing. Okay. Now the next step is what? We are creating one form here. Let us say product add form or product form will be okay. So we will make one product form here. Then we have product name, and then one more we have here. This is simple, your HTML code. Now, one more division I will make here so that we can provide price here. I'm writing the same name, although it is not necessary, but I will write the same name as the bean property name, but not necessary student. Any name can be given here. So name and price to make it simple. But these are not the request parameter student. These are the IDs given to this field. Okay, ID name, and for next input ID price. And then suppose I'm making one submit button. And then add is written in it. Okay, so very simple designing we created here, students, so that we can provide the data for the product name, price, and then submit button is created. Its ID is this one. Now what we want, that when this submit button is clicked, please listen now, this is the important part, although this is a little bit different because we don't have any what should I say, a web page there. Actually, what we have, one web service is running over there. We want to hit that web service. This thing is what you should generate the AJAX request over here. And to generate the AJAX request, you can write the JavaScript code. You can go for the jQuery code, that is just JavaScript library, or React code or Angular code. So here we will go for the jQuery, a little bit simple. So that we can test our web services. So now when this form is submitted, what form we created? This product form. First, we will collect the data that is coming from here. So in your jQuery, what happens is, student, one function is automatically called, that is ready function. You should write all the jQuery code in this ready function only. This is what you remember. You don't worry about it. You are not here to learn the jQuery. Just you are checking that whether your web services can be called from the JavaScript code or not. That's it. Okay. So all your jQuery code should be written this inside this ready function. Okay, it means this will execute after the complete downloading of your this HTML page on the client machine. So that's why you should write inside it. So first ready function should be written. Just look here, it is ending over here, starting from here. So all the jQuery code is written in the ready function. So you just provide it. This should be given. Okay, so inside the script tag, we have given this ready function. After giving it, suppose you want that if the particular form is submitted, when you click the submit button, you are submitting the form. So if the particular form is submitted, on the submission of this form, product form, what would you do? You want to call a function. You want to generate actually the AJAX request. So when this form, product underscore form, is submitted, its ID is given here, $, and inside this, I'm giving the ID, product form. So the form where ID is product underscore form. Look here. This form is having ID product form. Look here, ID product form. Okay. So suppose you are having one form where ID is product form. Then when it is submitted, means it's a submit button is clicked, what you want to do? That should be written using the callback function over here. So again, inside the ready function, I want that when the submit button is clicked of this particular form, this particular form submit button is clicked. I want to do something. For that purpose, again, one function is given inside it. And inside it, one function is called, this is JavaScript function, not jQuery. Okay, in the JavaScript, what happens? Uh, prevent default means automatically submission of the form is prevented. Okay, by chance, suppose the jQuery code is executed, and then when the execution of the program, here your jQuery will call the submit. But what we have written over here, very first, prevent default means default call of remaining code should not be done. Event.prevent default. Okay, so this must be called whenever you generate the any request, maybe Ajax request. Generally, we generate the Ajax request using jQuery. So prevent default should not be called automatically. Okay, so you call it. Then next step, what should be done by you, student? Here some data will be given by the user using the name and price. Suppose you want to get this data in the JavaScript code, maybe you did that. It was very easy part. So that should be done here. First, collect the data that is given for the name and price ID input fields. For that purpose, that data will be stored in the JavaScript object. So how to make the JavaScript object, that we have done over here. So let us suppose the name I am giving product. So in the JavaScript, we make the object in this way, where your object name and then the curly bracket open close. It means this is your JavaScript object. So when JavaScript object is created, why this JavaScript object is created? So that we can get the data from the HTML tags. So this is what we created. Then here in this object, we want to keep some data. For that purpose, we have written product, and then the here you should write the property name, student, that is present in your Spring Boot. Means we created product class, if you remember yesterday, product class. There we have given the properties ID, name, price. So that property name should be written over here. Okay, so here that property name is written, and here dollar, and then has, this is actually the ID of the input field. This one, this is this one. Input field ID is name. So this is what I have written over here. So what we are doing, collect the input field data using this function $has name dot well. Okay, and then that data is stored in the JavaScript object using the key name. JavaScript objects contains the data and key value pair always. Okay, so here it is stored, and then next one more value we want to collect. So write it one more time. That is price. Here the ID we have given is price. So write down price over here. So till this point we collected the data which is given by the user and stored in the JavaScript object. After creating this, what we want, maybe user clicks the submit button. After clicking the submit button, your request will go to the server, data will be inserted, and data will, control will come back. Till that point, we don't want that user should click this button one more time. Okay, so what you can do, you can disable it. Not necessary, but you should do it. So that if the request is already executing, user should not be able to click the button. That's why this is written. Otherwise, there is no significance of it. So button submit dot property disable true. So button will be disabled until this request completes. Okay, and then here in the jQuery, the Ajax request can be generated very easily. $.ajax is written. That's it. And in the your parentheses, you can give the request information, like what type of request you are generating. So here you can write post, put, delete, or whichever request you are generating. Then content type, what type of content you are sending to the server. As you know that to access, what should I say, our web service, we have written code over there that our web service can receive only JSON type of request. So the content type should be application/JSON here, that is specified using this property. These are the inbuilt mechanism, students, provided by jQuery in the Ajax function. Then you should provide in this way only. Okay. Next thing is URL. Here you should write the URL that you want to hit, for which you are generating the request. So that is in our case HTTP localhost 8080 and I think it is written product only there. So this is the URL of controller. Here it is written. Look, this product. So this is given. Then here we collected the data from the HTML tag in the JavaScript function product. Sorry, JavaScript object, product object. This JavaScript object should be converted into the JSON. Although JavaScript object and JSON objects are similar, but then only it should be converted in the proper sophisticated way. For that purpose, what I did, JSON.stringify. This is again JavaScript function, students. Okay, JSON.stringify, and here you should give your object. Which object? The object that contains the provided data. So object is given, its string format will be converted, will be given in the data field of your AJAX request. So data that you want to send, actually the body that you are sending. Then data type that you will receive, JSON. Cache, false means we don't want to cache this request anywhere. Timeout, request, AJAX request, as you told that you know. So when the AJAX request is generated, automatically the control will go in the background only, means the request is generated automatically, response will be received. But the other page will be shown to the user, and user can do the other activities very easily. So here you should specify for which time period here the web browser should look for the response that will come for this particular request. So here you can specify the time in the millisecond. Okay, it is written. If you don't want to give it, you can leave it. But yes, you should specify it because the request is generated in the background only. So here the time can be specified in the millisecond. So what is the timeout for your request? Then important part. If the response is coming from your web service, maybe the response is success. When I say success means I'm talking about the response code. Just listen, student, many times we have seen here. Sometimes when we run our web application, then we get the error like 500, maybe you will get written over there, or 400, maybe you have seen this. Sometimes it happens that we write some code wrongly. Then as a response, we get the codes like this, 500. Generally, when the exception is generated on the server machine, you will get the 500. Or suppose any wrong method name is written, means problem is from the request side. Get post methods are given wrongly, or maybe the requested resource is not available, then you will get the response code like 400 something, 404, 405 in this way. 200 code says that your request is executed successfully. So in case that response code is coming, means the success is coming. I'm not talking about the success that we are returning, student here. I'm talking about the response code. If the response code is success 200, then whatever you write after success will be executed by the JavaScript, means your jQuery code. And suppose any error code is coming like 500, 400, as I told you, or maybe because of any reason the request is not fulfilled, then here one error attribute is written, this will be executed. Okay, so in case of success, what to do? Should be written by you here using a function. And in case the request is not executed successfully, then what you want to do should be written here as a function. Okay, so let us do it now. In the success, we have given one function that has one parameter data, and then here JSON.string, in the data we will receive the data, like we are returning the success, so success will be stored automatically in this data variable. So then what we did, one string format is taken of it. I have given this one student to you so that when you go for any other type of code, and in case you want to explore it further, then here although right now we do not need to convert this data in the JSON format because we are sending just success. But suppose you send any JSON data, in that case you should write this JSON.stringify. This data should be given over here, and then this should be converted to the your JSON format, and then we are showing it. So in the $feedback.html JSON. So whatever data we are receiving, we are setting it to that division, just this division. Here we have created one feedback division. In this division, the data will be stored. Okay, this is what we have written. We do not need to write down this console here because we are not discussing the debugging part over here. Okay, then here that button should be enabled now. So make this button enabled now. After successful completion of your request, in case any error, you can go for the again same code. I would like to show the error here. Please, student, you keep yourself muted. Okay. So here we will receive the error code. Whatever error message will come. Maybe the error is related to 400 or 500 something will be received over here, and then we can show it in the division that is created over there. Feedback HTML JSON. Okay. I told you a little about the jQuery, student. Again, as you told that you are not aware about it, so you do not need to go through it just because it is very simple to call the web services when it comes to what should I say your jQuery code. So that's why it is written over here so that you can test it really in the web browser. How can we call it? Otherwise, there is no other way. You have to go for the React code or Angular code. So that is not at least feasible right now. Okay. I think everything is fine. We created this page. Save this page now and let us run the application. As I told you, because of the time leap, we are able to do this thing as students. Okay, this index.html will be called from the your web browser. So let us test it now. And here any type of code can be written now. Simple JavaScript code, your React code, or any Angular code, or any other JavaScript code. There are many frameworks available. Vue code can be written, no problem. So let us run it now. Okay. Now open any web browser. Now you do not need the Postman. Write down your local host. And look here, student, this page is shown just because the time leap is given by you. Otherwise, it is not possible. Okay. And the page name, as I told you, should be index.html. Now we will check that whether our application is running properly or not. So product name, mobile, some value should be given, add, and here look, success is written. It means everything is fine, but then only you check it because we cannot debug the JavaScript code. It's not any compiled language. So you make sure that it is inserted or not. Select is star from product. And yes, it is inserted. Look, 13 mobile and 30. This is the data that is given by us. Okay. So this is a student. In case you want to call it from any JavaScript code or JavaScript framework or JavaScript library, you can write the code in this way. Okay. Again, you do not need to go through it completely. You just want to test it. So what I did, you even can take this code and how to make the necessary changes that I already told you. So accordingly, you can make the changes. But then all it is not that much easy. If you want to go for the sophisticated CRUD operation view over here, so again you have to face the problem. Okay, it's not that much easy. You should have good knowledge of jQuery, otherwise you won't be able to do. And as I'm saying that it is not used in the company that much. Better you go for your React or Angular ones. So we will see what can be done for that purpose, because in that case, you have to make one proper sophisticated your React project. And then from there, you should call this. So that we will see. Okay. Now, after doing this thing, as I told you, if you are in, having time leap in your project, so you can call your index.html page directly. What if I want to give the different name to the index.html. It is called automatically student. Nowhere I'm writing that index.html, something like this. So can we create the view and can we give the name to the view so that we can call it? Still your web services are separate student. I'm not integrating over here. This is running as it is. Suppose you want to call it from still means in the same application, you want to call it from the Android, from iPhone, or from your React, or from your Angular, you can call it. I provided this index.html. It doesn't mean now this will not behave like a web service. Still, it is just like a web service. I just what I'm doing in just one project, instead of creating two separate projects, in just one project, I'm creating the views and web services so that I can test my web services working properly or not. That's it. Otherwise, still the web services are very separate from your view pages. Okay. We are not requesting any view page here from the web services. So you just remember this thing. Okay, fine. But suppose there is a need. Generally, it is not done, but suppose there is a need that I want to make one view so that I can call any web services from that. Like here, the same view, I don't want to give the index.html page. Instead, I want to give the page name, let us say product@form.html. So can I call it? Obviously, you can call it, but for that purpose, what should be done? That I will tell you. So that we will do here only, students. Here you have to make one class now. For that purpose, you please remember things. Now, suppose the class name I'm giving my MVC view configurer, and then you click on it. Now this class should implement one class. Now we'll see which one is supported for here. Now, what happened? Implements web MVC configurer, and then you should override one method of it. There are many methods, student, and I will tell you which one to select. Even it is very tough to remember the names. There are many. So you can do one thing. From here, you can select your implement override methods. And there is a method here. This one, add view controllers. Okay, add view controllers, view controller registry. This method should be selected. Then click on OK button. Now, the next step is here you can provide this code is not needed. You will get one object here of view controller registry type. Now on this, what should be done? Registry dot, and then here add view controller, and then one more method should be called, that is your view name. So set view name and then view name. Now just remember, student, I had told you that you do your Spring MVC program in the Spring MVC program, if you remember, we used to write the URL where, or even in this Spring Boot, we write the URL with what should I say, method, using the post mapping, or they are using the request mapping. So here we provide the URL. So when you give the URL here, please listen carefully, then method will be called. But now, and then if you remember your Spring MVC, here we return the view name. Please listen carefully. So here you give the URL, and then processing will be done. And then from here you returns what? Your view name in the Spring MVC. Here you are returning the data, but I'm talking about the Spring MVC. So here you give the URL, and here you return the view name. This is exactly what you are doing here, students. Okay. So here what you are doing, here you should give the URL, and then here you should give the view name. Now you do not need to make the controller. There we have opportunity to make the controller. If you remember, I had told you that whenever you want to make a view request should go through the controller. URL, controller, and then view. The same thing is here. First, you should give the URL, and if you want to skip, what should I say, your controller, instead you want to go to directly any view, then such type of things should be written. So here you write the URL. Suppose I'm giving product underscore add underscore form. Okay, so this is the URL. Here extension is not needed. It's directly you write product underscore add underscore form. And then you should write the view name. Here you write the view name. So as we decided, if you want to keep same, you can. If you want to keep different, you can. That is up to you. But generally, what I do, I keep the URL name and the view name same. This is the URL name that you will write in the web browser when you call it. Means this is the URL which you will give to the, what should I say, your web browser. In the web browser, you will type it, or any button click, you will write this URL. Next thing is what, or any link you will provide it. Next, what is this? This is the real view name, means the HTML name that will be given as a response to you. Okay, so this will be the HTML name here. Now it is possible that you can go for a particular page over here. So now let us take, but we have written the code in the same. Okay, let us write down, no problem. So I will make one HTML page. As I told you, we'll go to the template. These are just template to test your web services. So new, then one HTML page I will make here. They do one thing, just to go for copy and paste. Copy, paste. Now product underscore add underscore form. The name that we decided. Now here the code is written. The title we can write here add product. It's okay. And in the index HTML, we don't want to write suppose this code. Now instead, what would I do? So welcome page. We will just provide one link over here. So make the link here, and in the link, I will write, let us see, add product, then href, and here suppose I will write the name given by us, product underscore add underscore form. So this is the URL student, whatever you have written in this class, okay? Here this URL. So this URL should be written with the link URL, sorry, this one, okay? This is what I'm writing over here in this link. So this is written. Now, after doing this thing, now the index page will be having just one link, and when the link is clicked, one add product page will be shown. Next step is what? This class should be annotated using one annotation, that is @configuration. Whenever you provide any configuration information student, the class must be annotated using @configuration. @configuration means here this contains the configuration information. Okay, these are the information which we used to write in the CFG file, if you remember, view resolver and other things. So here actually this is a kind of view resolver. Okay, it will resolve that if the request is coming for this URL, which view should be shown. Okay, so these are the CFG information which should be given in a class using the @configuration. The @configuration is needed. This is the replacement or alternate for your CFG file. Okay, so it should be written. Now let us run it. First, we must stop it. Okay, so run the project now. Where is our main method? You should always run it. Its main method is student, okay? Because Spring Boot manages all the things, okay? Creation of WAR file, starting the Apache server, deployment of the WAR file, okay? So should be done by you. This should be done by you. So this is what we created here. Tomcat started. Fine. Everything is fine now. Let us move ahead. Now refresh it. So the index page is shown. That is, as I told you, in case of TimeLeap, it is by default when you click on the add product. So this page is shown to you. When you add the record, will be added. So this page is same. So there is no problem now. Okay. So this is how you can create your own view in case you want to integrate in your application only. But for that purpose, again, remember the code will be same as your JavaScript code. Okay, JavaScript code should be written by you. Okay, now few more problems we'll discuss related to this one. And suppose student, you want to show the data that is coming from here. One more thing I will tell you so that you can make sure really it is called or not and how multiple views can be generated. So you do not need to do much thing now. Okay, you can go for the copy and paste of this one now. As many view as you want, you can make here. So product add form, then even if you want, you can go for product list. I will make one product list here. This is URL and this will be the HTML page that you will make in the template. Okay, and it should be stored in the template only. And there you should write the JavaScript code so that you can access it. So let us make it now here. One HTML page should be created. Now, product underscore list. Okay. Now the code, your JavaScript code again, so that we can get the JSON content over here. I told you how to send the JSON content, now how to receive the JSON content. So we will make one file for that purpose. Now again, your JavaScript code is students. So what, as I told you, if you want to use a JavaScript, library should be used. This version, you keep it same as the included in your dependency. And then in the script tag, you can write your jQuery code, that is ready code. And JSON request for to get the JSON data is simple in your jQuery. So more simple. So here what is written, $.getJSON. Then the URL should be written. In our case, the URL is, I think, this one only. It is already get type of request for the JSON data. Okay. So even you do not need to specify the data type and other things. Then here you should give the function where you will receive the data. So function, here in the result, you will get your response data. Means in our case, it will be a JSON array of product type. Then if you want to traverse it, one function is given by your jQuery, that is each. Then from the result, you will get the each JSON object one by one. In the key value pair, key you will receive here, value you will receive here. Then you do what you want to do. Like here, I created one division, let us say products JSON. And in this division, I wanted to show the data. So it is written $, then ID of the division has product JSON, and then append. There I'm appending what? ID. This should be the property name. ID, name. This is simple showing the data, student. Okay. The data that is written by your double quote start date. In the double quote, space plus now value dot price. Okay, it's a formatting. Okay, so ID value plus space, name value plus here space, then price value plus space. Okay, this is what written over here. So that in this division, in case this URL returns any JSON array will be shown. Now you access it so that you can taste even the second URL. In the index only, I'm making one more link. Now let us run it. Our main. Okay, execute it. Write the URL here. Okay, so here when we click on the list product, look here, the list is shown. Simple, just I'm showing it. Okay, JSON object is received in the division. This JSON array is shown. That's it. Okay, so in this way, now I told you, student, using the ThymeLib, you can make the views, and in the views, you can see the data that is being written by the web service, or the if you want to send the data to the web service, how can you send it? Okay, yes. If any question you can ask, otherwise we will move to the next topic now. The important, you do not need to go in the depth, student. As I told you, not use that much, but this is the only thing that we have. Either we can go for the simple JavaScript code or jQuery code. Very easily can be written. No need to create any separate project or other configuration thing. Okay, but you have to write JavaScript code. Without JavaScript code, you cannot access the web services in your web browser. Not possible. Fine. If there is no question, let us move ahead. This code can be taken as it is. Okay, where changes are needed, you can do. Only URL should be taken care by you. And when the data is received, how you want to show it. If you want to make the table, you write down the code here. HTML table can be formatted properly over here. Link can be created. So now you do this part if you want to do. Although I will suggest you don't do this. This much is okay. And then other things should be managed using the React, as you told that you are familiar with the React. Okay, but that project will be created separately, not inside this Spring Boot. Okay, fine. So I hope this thing is clear to you. Now we will move ahead so that we can discuss the next topic.
Hello, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, the React will be running on a different port and
Yeah.
Spring Boot will be on different port. So how will we map them to each other?
Now you do not need to worry about it. So very simple. Just you write down this URL over there. Okay. That's it. This is the only thing. And then few annotations will be used there that I will tell you. Let me see what can be done.
Okay, okay, sir.
But you just remember this URL in the Axios. I think you used any URL over there. If I remember.
Yes, sir, we did use.
Yeah. Yes, so there you should paste this URL. That's it. That's it. This is what you should do. Remaining thing will be same as your React code. There is no change. Wherever you use the URL, as you told that you went for the CRUD operation, then you can manage it very easily. Okay, you can manage it very easily. Okay. And here sometimes maybe because of any security reason, here you will get one annotation. Right now I will not write it, just I'm telling you. And here you should type the URL of your React project. There also, I think in the 3000 or whichever port on the whichever port you are running your React project, that URL should be copied and pasted over here. Correct? Clear, students? So that it will allow to access, means this web services can be accessed from that given URL there.
Okay, okay, sir.
So that is the only thing. Otherwise, no change. No change is needed except this. But right now, don't write it here. Here, all the URLs, even suppose you want to access it from any Android application, there also suppose you want to go for any different URLs, should be written over here. Multiple URLs can be given over here. Okay. Yeah, fine. So let us come back here. Now, one more thing here is, student, what is that? Right now, what is going on? Directly, we are accessing the URLs. I'm talking about the URL. Suppose I want to hit this URL, I can write it. And after writing, I can access it very easily. Very easily, I can access it. So there should be some kind of authentication. Although that you do yourself, like in the Spring, I think in the MVC, I told you that you should go for the registration kind of code. Then you make one login page so that login can be done. Means first you authenticate the user, then only allow that user can add some entity record, can see some entity record, can delete or update some entity record, correct? And I think in the Spring MVC, I told you that this should be done by you only. Maybe you did that part, because in the Spring MVC, I told you how to perform the CRUD operation. But there, the registration task and the login task, I had told you that exactly same as you have written in your MVC. So I hope you implemented that. But there you implement things yourself, students. Okay, you implement those things yourself over there. Suppose you want to do such kind of thing over here, then, and again, remember here we are hitting the URL. So suppose you want to authenticate a particular URL, then what should be done? Can you authenticate it? Like right now I'm creating some views over here, this view so that the record can be edited, this view so that the record can be shown. So suppose before showing these pages or hitting a particular URL, I want that the user should be authenticated. Suppose the user knows the credentials, username, password, then only user should be able to access that particular URL. Otherwise, user should not be able to access that. Login page will be shown to the user. Then user will provide the login information and authentication information, then only it can be edited. Okay, that should be done. So how can we do it? But before it, one more thing is left. No, we haven't uploaded. Suppose we want to upload the image. How can we do it? That is okay. First, we will do that thing, student. One more code I will add, that is uploading the image, and then we will go for next. That is login and registration. But you do not need to do any kind of login here. No need to do registration. If you want to do, you can do. But here we will use the inbuilt mechanism that is known as your Spring security. But before I come to this topic, one more thing I will tell you in this module only, that is uploading of images. And again, it is easier as compared to what should I say, your Spring or MVC approach, JSP MVC approach. So let us do it now. Let me write few more code here, then we will come to that part. Now, but here images cannot be shown, correct? So what should be done by us? I will make one HTML page, student. In that HTML page, not possible. Okay, fine. Otherwise, we have to go for the sophisticated view, then designing. So I will tell you how to upload the image, students. Okay, so let us make one new project now. Then how to integrate them, that I will tell you whenever I get the time, because that should be done using any proper project like your React project or Angular project. So make one more dynamic, sorry, your Spring Boot project, Spring Starter project. Next, since we don't want to use the JDBC and other thing here, so directly we'll go for web part only. The name that I want to give is, let us say, upload. Next, and here we require Spring Web, Timelib, finish. Now make the index page here. So in the template, we will make the index page. Should be HTML. JSP can be created, but avoid it. It is not used. Okay, so don't create the HTML. Sorry, JSPs. Create the HTML pages only. Index.html. Now make the simple page here, your HTML page. Sorry, form tag. And here, suppose I will name that URL upload. Then the method must be post. TNC type must be application. Sorry, multi-part form data, not application. We want to send the any file here, multi-part form data. Then make one input field here. Now type file, then name, let us say image, make one button, upload, then here you write the type of the button, that is submit. So one page is created here so that we can upload the image. Now, next thing is make one controller here, student. So right click here, new class com.surgery.cntr, and then here I'm writing, let us say the controller name, upload controller. Now make the method here. So public return type is string, let us say I would like to return success or something from here. And then the method name, suppose I'm giving upload return success. Now this method will receive one file, student. So you should write here commons, not commons, directly multi-part file. So multi-part file, the image, I think the name given by me was image. It should be request parameters. So here we will receive the image. Now give the URL to it. Post mapping. The URL can be specified here using the value attribute. Upload as we decided. This is the controller, should be annotated using controller. And again, suppose you want to save it on the server, image will be received over here, just one line code is needed so that you can copy it, but we want to save it on the server. So here you write HTTP servlet request it will be injected automatically. Then first you get the path on the server. For that purpose, same code will be written, student, here. So servlet context request dot get context. After getting the context, get the file name, so string, file path, actually your location. So for that purpose, suppose I'm writing file path equal sc dot get your real path. Then should be, let us say I will create one image folder, not necessary, but generally I do this in images folder. Otherwise, you can keep directly on the root path of your project, okay? Not necessary to go for the images folder or any folder. So images folder, if it is not there, Then what we will do? So first get the path object. Paths dot get now after getting it should be file path. Now maybe it is not present. So if files dot exist this path, then don't do anything, otherwise create it. Give the try case here. Print in case of any error. Okay, after doing this thing, you just save the file on the server machine. So right now I will use the file name only. So string file name equal image dot get original file name. Then here path equal path dot resolve and file name. Now next copy it. So files dot copy your image dot get input string. On the path it should be pasted. Standard copy option dot replace existing, and then let us print its path so that we can look for it where your Spring Boot is saving this file. Although it will be on the server, but here on our machine we will see it. So path I'm printing here. So this is the code that is written, student. It is similar code as your Spring code. The only change that I'm doing is what here. Instead of going for what should I say your commons multipart, for that purpose we need to include one file here, one dependency in the pom.xml file. But when we use the multipart file, if I remember, there is no extra dependency needed. You can go for this approach then. Okay, easily you can manage it. Multipart file. So instead of commons multipart file, you go for the multipart file. Okay. Now run the application so that we can test it. Yes, the mapping is already given. Here upload is written. Yes. Test it now. Okay, execute it. Now type the URL in the web browser. Select a file. Upload. Internal server status 500. Okay. Just a second. Template is available. Amp this. Okay. Let us check it first, then we will see why this error is shown. I think it is just because from there we are returning the success. So that's why it is shown. In that case, we should go for, what should I say, our again jQuery code, but just wait for this. Let us check it now. Template Tomcat doc base images car04 jpg. Tomcat doc base in the temporary folder. So now it would be computer temporary folder. Then what name is given? 33274 images. 33274. Nice. Three 33274. This is the project images. Yes, it is stored over here. Okay, fine, students. So you can upload the image. Now this is because of the view. I think it is looking for which view. Since we are returning the success, it is saying that success view is not available. Okay, so it is looking for the success template. Don't return anything on here. Delete it. This is just because of that template, student. Okay, success we are not receiving anywhere. That's what is showing. So not a problem. Fine. So let us run it one more time so that we can taste some more elements. Okay, but we have to close it. New folder will be generated. Fine. Let us run it. And the code is exactly same, student. Just I'm telling you that it is working with the Spring Boot or not. Now we will go for the security part. Run it. Choose a file. Open. Upload. Now it is showing error. Error. You see, are seeing this error. Fall back. The path is written. We will check it. And every time you run it, student, the new folder will be created and you will get your image in the new folder because the Tomcat is managed by this one. That will see. Let us check the folder now first. Okay, first see the path. And the path is 06 is 0 images in the temporary folder. Yes. So 06 is 0. I think. Yes, this is, and here images folder is created and we executed twice. So that's why 2 cars are added over here. Okay, this error because of view student. Okay, since after we are returning from this, we are returning from the upload, and after upload, actually we don't do anything. Actually, when you go for the Ajax request, in the Ajax request, what happens? The request is generated in the background only, and the response is populated in just one part of the HTML. But here, what we are doing, we are hitting on it. After hitting, the control will go to this one. This will execute, and after returning, your Thymeleaf is looking for the any template so that whatever control is coming back can be shown anywhere. But that is not written anywhere. That is not present. So that's why we are getting error. Okay. By default, it will look for the upload, or maybe it will look for what should I say, your whatever you written from there, success template. So it will be resolved when you go for the proper view designing, so that when the control comes back, you should show it. Okay, success is result, like we did in our product ad form. Okay, so you do not need to worry about it. Okay, just leave it. We generally don't create the views in this way. Fine. Except this, if any question you can ask. Okay, although the code is similar, student, exactly same code is written here. The only thing is what I'm just showing you that it is working in your Spring Boot. That's it. And the main problem is views, how you should create the views. So that I will tell you. Using the React Angular, as I told you, can create it. Okay. If there is no question, let us move ahead. For that purpose, again, I will not create the project from this page. Instead, what would I do? I will go for one existing project, but some dependencies are needed. So first I will make the project and then I will use the existing code. So what I'm saying here is, students, that suppose you want that you are making the URLs, okay, add product URL, user list URL, or any other URL. But you want to authenticate the user before the user can use a particular URL. User can access the particular URL. Okay. Then first way is what you do it yourself, but Spring also provide you some mechanism, one module, that is Spring Security. Using the Spring Security, you can authenticate the users, students. Okay, user authentication can be done. If the user is authenticated, means the proper username and password is given by the user, then only a particular URL can be accessed by the user. Otherwise, the URL cannot be accessed. Means any, like in our example, product cannot be added or product cannot be shown to that particular user. This is what you can do. And things are very simple. By default, we will go for the Spring Security. It's inbuilt functionality, inbuilt feature, inbuilt security. And the good thing is what, you do not need to do anything over here. You do not need to do anything. Just you include the what should I say, your dependency, and that's it. Security will be available there. How? Just check it. So what I will do here, I will make one project here, a Spring Boot project. So make one project, Spring Starter project. Next, and here the name I'm giving. This is basic Spring Security. So Spring Boot Security. This is the name that I'm giving. Now, click on the next. Now I will take the any JPA code, student, here. So I'm keeping the dependencies as it is, Java, Spring Wave, your Thymeleaf and other things. Now one more is needed here, that is related to the security. The Spring Security should be included here. Okay, after including the Spring Security, you just click on the finish button. Now, after clicking on it, I will take the code from the any CRUD operation like this one. So first I will complete jQuery is also used there, I think. I use that. Okay, fine. So we can do one thing. We can take it from here. First, properties contained. Next, templates. So I will keep the templates here in the templates. Next is tape other classes, whatever classes we created. So these classes should be included. So include these classes now here. So I haven't done anything special in this program, student. Just one extra starter dependency is added, that is Spring Security. Except this, nothing is done over here. Okay, exactly same program is created here. Okay, so and then I'm running it. You can see haven't done anything. So let us open it now. Now I will run it. So closed. Okay. Now let us run it. Okay. After running it successfully, you know this is the same program that we created, and when you type the URL here, then look what is going on. We haven't created anything over here, then only one login page is shown to you. Look here. Okay. Even if you want to check one more time, just look here what I'm doing. Look here, localhost 8080 is written. Enter it. So this is the by default security functionality provided by the Spring Boot. So now no URL can be accessed by the user without providing the username and password. But the question is, which username and password should be given over here? Even this page is created very nicely, student. When I click it, even this, what should I say here? I think HTML5 functionality is also given over here. Look. Okay. Suppose you write something here. It will come over here. Okay. Suppose you give any wrong information here, it will be written over here. Bad credentials. Okay. Fine. So this is the by default Spring Security feature. So now user will be authenticated before accessing any one of the URL. So from where to get it? What is the username and password? So by default, username is user student. And when you check your console window, in the console window, you will get one password. I hope you can see this line, using generated security password. And here you will get this password. Just look here. This is the password which is given, so that you can authenticate the user. This password will be different for the different execution. Means when I close this project and when again I run it, so the different password will be given. So you should take it from this this one only, from your, what should I say, your console window. So copy it from here and then come back to the console window. Now the username, as I told you, is user, and when it comes to the password, will be taken from the console window, and when I type it, sign in, and then look here, that page is shown. Okay, now you can visit the other pages like add product and product list. So you can visit these pages. Okay, students, so this is how you can authenticate. So you do not need to do anything special here. Only thing is what you have to just manage it. But thing is what, suppose you close this tab, again you hit the URL. Suppose I'm hitting the URL, you will get it. Okay, add product and this one. But what, suppose I close this web browser. After closing again, I'm opening the web browser. When I open it one more time, I'm typing the URL. Okay, and when I type it, now the login page will be shown. Okay, because that session was destroyed by us. After closing it, then you should provide the proper username password here, then only you can access them. Okay, so this is what you can do in case you want to go for, what should I say, your security, Spring security, but this is inbuilt. Maybe you will say, sir, suppose I want to give the username and password instead of using this inbuilt username and the password which is shown in the console window. Then what can be done? In that case, there are two ways to provide the username and password. So here, what should be done by students? When you go for the Spring security, inbuilt security, username and password will be there. Okay. But suppose you want to do yourself. So there are two types of, there are two ways you can see to provide the username password on the basis of Spring security is categorized. So that will be in memory in security, and then database security. It means you can keep the username password in the database. Again, you will be using inbuilt student. The only thing is what you can go for, what should I say, your in memory. In case of in memory, what will happen? Your username password is saved in username and password are saved in a bytecode actually. The bytecode that will be generated means it will be written in the code. But here what will happen when you go for the database, here the username password will be stored in the your database, the database that you are using. So these are the two ways that you can use. So first we'll go for the in-memory security so that we can achieve this thing. So let us do it now, students. So I will make the copy of the same project and then we will try to use this. For that purpose, again, you do not need to do much. Just here to remember where to write the username and password and few things that I will tell you. One extra class will be created here for that purpose. So now Now, here, the dependency is already included because I have taken from here. It's a copy paste kind of thing. One class should be created by you student over here, and that class would implement this code changes very frequently. So let me see in this version that will work or not. So one class should be created, and you also don't create it. Just you should remember that where to write the username and password and other things I'm explaining you. So just wait. This is the inbuilt code that should be used by you. So I'm taking one class here, student. Even if you want, you can create the class, but code should be taken as I am giving to you from this file only means. That is deprecated. Okay. So here you have to make one class that extend the my security configure adapter class. Okay. This is deprecated, I think, in the version that is included in our application. For that purpose, I think one annotation is given. Version is which one? Home.xml. That's where 277. It is still 255. That is okay, students. So here you should make up. I'm telling you, just wait. So you should make one class that extends one class web security configure adapter. Okay, this is the class that we are using here to make the subclass of it. This class is deprecated, I think, in the 2.5 onwards. Actually, there is one annotation which is given over here. The name of the annotation I don't remember right now, and it is not even explored by me. Very frequently it changes, student Spring Boot really. So, and this is, I think it was introduced in the 2.3 something, and 2.5 and 2.7 is new now. So very frequently. Okay, so thing is what? Instead of this, again, I'm telling you one annotation is also given in the new that I will see if possible, because I haven't used that annotation. So instead of this, I'm using this deprecated class, although it will work. Code will remain as it is, student. Doesn't matter you are using the notation or you are using the class, okay? Will remain exactly same. So you do not need to worry about that part. Okay, so you create one class that extend this web security configure adapter, or maybe in the new versions, one annotation you will get here. That annotation should be used. Now in this class, there is a configure method, and there is a method that is configure global. Okay, these two methods are given. Using these two methods, you can specify the security features, because as you decided that you want to provide the what should I say, username password. So how to provide the username password? Using this configure global method. In the configure global method, here you just took authentication in memory type, and then with user, what username you want to give, and password what you want to give. Username can be given by you here, any username that you want to give. Write down the username over here, and then the password should be given. But whatever password you want to give here, student, that should be preceded by curly bracket. Inside the curly bracket, and OOP should be written by you. Why is it so? Because you are writing this username and password in your source code, student. After this, bytecode will be generated. So it will be there in the bytecode. But in the bytecode, it won't be stored like 1, 2, 3, whatever you are giving. I'm giving the 1, 2, 3. Okay. So 1, 2, 3 won't be there. Instead, its encrypted form will be stored in your bytecode. And this is must, student. You should go for this one only. So 1, 2, 3 directly won't be stored in the bytecode, means the bytecode version of it. Instead, one encrypted form will be stored. For that purpose, it should be preceded by this curly bracket and OOP. And then the role, you can specify the role here, user role or admin role, whatever role you want to give, if you want to test it later on. So that is up to you. Okay, admin role or user role, whatever role you want to give. So this is the very first thing that you should do. Okay. Next thing is what? It is not like in the previous program, what happened? Doesn't matter you hit the which URL, although I think I told you only by default URL, that was localhost and product only. But even if you write a student localhost product or any other URL, then only you will be redirected to the login page only. But maybe suppose there is a scenario in which few pages you want to show to the user without authentication, and the few pages you want to show the user if the authentication is done. This may be the scenario. Or maybe you want to authenticate all the URLs. So now there is a thing, what is that? Maybe you want to authenticate few URLs and you don't want to authenticate some URLs. So that should be managed using this configure method. In the configure method, there is object of HTTP type. The very first thing is here, it is written CSRF disable. Why I'm writing it? Although it should not be written, but here I'm writing it. Why is it so? Just because I want to call it from the JavaScript code, let us say, or from maybe your React code, your Angular code, any Android code. So as even one of the question from your side only, that there also one server will be running. So if the server is running from there and we want to hit this URL from our other URL, because one server is running there, one server is running in the Spring Boot. So there from one server is access using the URL. So one URL will be requesting another URL. So what is going on now? URL is requesting another URL. So in that case, there is a chance of what should I say, forgery over here. Such kind of forgery can be done. This is known as a cross-site request forgery, CSRF. It is written here, student. What is written? CSRF, cross-site request forgery. If the request is coming from, what should I say? Take the break now, okay? After break, we'll discuss. Few things are left now so that we can conclude it earlier as soon as possible, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, take the break, okay? Okay, so students, I hope you are back. Let us discuss few things over here when it Spring Security, that is in memory. As I told you, in the in memory, what happens? The username and password is given in the bytecode only. So here it is written in the source code, it will be available in the bytecode. Now other things is what, suppose you want that the few pages or few URLs should be accessible directly and the other URL should be accessible through authentication only. So for that purpose, you should go for this configure method. In the configure method, first thing is what, since we want to access it using the other URL student, so that's why this CSRF, okay, cross site request forgery, it should be disabled. Then only it will work. Otherwise, the server will not allow to hit the URL or access the URL from another server. So you disable it, then only it will work. Otherwise, it will not work. Okay. Later on, you can specify when you go for the proper your clients. Then you can specify that we should be allowed, we should not be allowed. Otherwise, you make it disabled. Then now here you should call the authorized request, means for any URL, if the request is coming, it should be authorized. And other code student, you keep it as it is because here the Java it is used very frequently. Then don't go for that which method is returning what, why we are calling so many statements in just one go. So don't go in that depth. Just what you should remember that I will tell you. The very first thing is what here. Here it is written authorized request, and then here it is written unt matches. Here you should specify all the URLs where you want that anyone can access them. No authentication is required. So here it is written unt matches. Using the unt matches, we specify the URLs. Like here I written slash means root URL. Only what should I say, localhost 8080 in our case. So that URL can access anyone. So that's why it is written here. If you don't want, then you should comment it. But suppose you want that some more URLs can be accessible directly, like here it is written. This line is commented over here. Otherwise, you can write in this way. Unt matches first URL, second URL, third URL. So all the URLs that you want that the user should access directly, then you can go for the permit all. So this is the method that should be called by you, that which URL you want to access without authentication. Again, I would like to repeat, unt matches dot permit all. Combination of these two methods, students. Okay, unt matches, then specify all the URLs one by one, like in the previous line it is done, slash and login, then permit all. And if you don't want to permit even a single URL, then you comment this line. Okay, any other request should be authenticated. Any other request should be authenticated. So without authentication, other won't be available. This is what you are written over here. Now, and suppose you want to make your own login page. Like just try to understand, student. I told you if you want, you can make the pages. We created few pages if you remember. Okay, few pages are created by us, like to add the product, to show the product record. So like this, suppose you created a few pages, then what can be done? If you want to create the login page, then you should call dot and form login, and then form login and the login page name that you created. Suppose you want to create it, and if you don't want to create it, you comment this portion so that the inbuilt login page that we have seen in the previous program will be used. So that is up to you. If you want to create your own login page, you can specify the login page. First, you have to create it, and then you can specify that login page URL over here. And if you don't want to create, instead you want to use it from that is created by the Spring Boot, then you just comment this line. Okay, so this is what you can manage over here. I'm not making any login page right now. We don't have that much time here. Even if you want, it will work. No problem. Okay, you can write here. So the login page will be shown. That is created by you, but don't create it. We will go for the inbuilt login page. And then the login page should be accessible to all. So here you should write permit all. When user clicks the login button, so login processing URL should be given. Means user is click, login button is click, login operation will be performed by the Spring Boot internally. That time, what page you want to show to the user? The process is going on. Which page will be visible to the user? So same login page only, no other page. If you want to show any other page, can be shown, but if you want to page the same login page, you can write over here. So login processing URL, it will show which page, that is written over here. Then suppose the login is successful, then where do you want to go? That page name should be written over here. Means login is successful, then where to go? So that page name can be written here. Suppose I want to go to, let us say, product list or product add form. We are having these two, product add underscore form. So suppose I want to go to this page. So product add form will be shown. Or any other page that you want to make, you can. We will do one thing. Instead, we will make a welcome page here. Welcome page. So this welcome page will be shown to the students. In the web browser students. Now, logout mechanism, if you want to implement it, although right now I told you how the logout will be performed, but if you want to use the logout mechanism, when the web browser is closed, what should happen? And in case you want to make any specific logout page, then what can be done? This is what written over here. So and logout, the session should be invalidated, that is maintained by Spring Boot automatically, and clear authentication, whatever authentication informations are stored anywhere, it should be clear. And suppose you make any logout page, so anyone can access this logout page. These are the information should be given. Now using these methods, student, you can write any URL over here so that you can permit them or you can authenticate, then only permission will be given. So after doing this thing, let us, we decided welcome page, correct? So you make it now. Here in the template, one more page we need to create. So copy, sorry, paste, that is welcome underscore page.html. So after login, we want to go to the welcome page. In the welcome page, I will keep this information. Now, this should be index.html. In the index.html, I will keep only one link now. That is for welcome page. Welcome page. Okay, here you can write start sending request, whatever you want to write. And then here in your view configurer, you should write that welcome page student. So welcome page. Whenever you make the view, its entry should be done here. In that case, we want to go to welcome page only. So welcome underscore page. Okay. So this page entry is done here. Now, yes, everything is fine here. So let us run the application now so that we can test the given username password will work or not. That is RAM and 123 for our application. Where is the file? I haven't opened yet. So let us run it now. Okay, look here. So there is no username password is given. One more thing, student, why this is not given. I forgot to tell you that thing. Here, look, one annotation is used @configuration. I told you, but @enable web security. This is what written here. So when you write @enable web security, inbuilt mechanism will be disabled, and the mechanism that is given by you in this class will be enabled. Okay, @enable web security. Okay, this should be written over here. This is the significance. That's why now inbuilt mechanism is not used. So that's why there is no username password over there. Okay, so this is must over here. @enable web security annotation. Fine. So now come to this part. Now type the localhost 8080 and look. Start sending requests, because what was written there, that it should be accessible to all welcome page. Then start sending request. When I click on it, look, the login page is shown because permission is not there. So now I'm giving, let us say RAM, and 1 2 3 4 I'm printing sign in bad credentials. And then when I write RAM, and then 1 2 3 sign in, and it work now. Okay, product and your list. Yes, students. So this is how you can give your own username password, and you can specify giving the own username password, and then you can specify that which URL can be accessed directly and which URL require the authentication. Fine. If any question you can ask here, student. Otherwise, we will go for the second approach. In the second approach, what would we do? We will go for database authentication. Code will remain exactly same. The only change is what here. Instead of keeping the data in your memory, means in the source file, that will go to the bytecode. We will keep the data in the database. Because this will remain as it is, students. Okay, I will create just one copy of it so that only change is what here we will make changes in configure global method. Fine. So let us move ahead now. Again, student, you can take it as it is. The only change what you have to do here, you specify the URLs where you want to go for the authentication, where you don't want to go for the authentication. And here you can specify the username and password. That's it. Okay, let us close it now. For the next project, I will create the copy of this same existing project in memory authentication. Now, Spring Boot security database authentication. So here, as I told you, the only change that you have to do while providing the username and password. So let us open this class here. And this code will be different, students, now. So let me open that. One table should be created so that query I will provide to you in this class only so that you can use it properly. So you please remember, student, where I'm providing you the query. So what I will do in the beginning of that class, I will keep it. This is database, yes. So look here, in this security class, very first, I will keep that data. Okay, here I'm keeping it. You can take the query from here, students. Okay, remember that where the query is given to you. So database creation queries are written over here. You should take it as it is. This is the very first thing that you should do. Next thing is what? Your database information should be given, and your data source that you are using should be written here. So let me write that part. This data source is same as the data source that you are using to insert and delete records. Okay. And look here, student, the method is almost same, exactly same. Now, instead of going for the in-memory, we are going for the JDBC authentication data source. As I told you, whatever data source we are using to insert the product record will be used, this data source. So first you need to give the data source and then the query is written so that authentication can be done. But here authentication is done in the little bit different way. Look here what is written, and just wait, but before it, let me import few things. Okay, look here how the query is written. Select username. This table will be there in the your database. Select username role from user where username. So whatever username will be given by the user using the web browser, for that first username and role will be selected. And after selecting the role, again one more query will be fired, username, password, and one more is managed over here. One means it is for blocked or unblocked user, blocked user, unblocked something. So this will be selected as enabled, and then user where username equals something, then again corresponding to the username, both things are selected, username and password. Now this both username and password which are selected corresponding to the username will be compared by the Spring Boot with the provided username password. Just try to understand. One username password means the username and password will be given by the user. So first Spring Boot will find out the role for that username, you can say, and then password for that username. And after getting them, whatever username password given by the your user will be compared with username password which are selected from the database. If the provided username and password and the username password which are taken from the database are equal, then only authentication will be considered as a correct, true, and the control will go to the next page. Otherwise, same login page will be given back by the your Spring Boot. So this is exactly what will happen over here. Okay. Now, thing is what in the your database table, the record should be stored. The record should be stored in the encrypted format only. Okay, so one encrypted class would be used by you, that is bcrypt password encoder. So directly password cannot be stored like we used to do. Okay, 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6 something. No, encrypted form should be stored over there. That is what you should take care. So these are the information that should be given in this authentication class. Next is what in the database you create the table. Although you can create the table according to the column name and other things, but you don't do that. Instead, you can take it from here so that there should be no mistake in the table name and column name, and the password should be in the encrypted form. That I will tell you how to do it. Now, let us open the MySQL. So, tables, drop table user. Okay. Now the query that I brought from there, you also do the same thing, students. You should take the query from there only. So create table user, user table is created, username, password is specified over here, role should be written. So this is written. Next is one insert query, insert into user values. So username given user, any username can be given. If you want to change, obviously you can. Then password, as I told you, that password should be in the encrypted format. So here this encrypted format is given. And for encryption, there is a class used by me. I forgot the name of the class. I think it is stored anywhere, but I don't know where. So I took one class from the your, what should I say, database, Google only. And then this is the encrypted format of password, PASSWORD in a small letter. So this is the encrypted version of passwords. At both the places I'm using the same. Okay, this is the password. So password is encrypted in this data that is stored. So you can say user is the username, password is the password, and the role is user. One more role is added here if you want, that is up to you. Admin is the user. Then again, same password is given by me, and then admin. Okay, so these are the things which are written over here. Now after this, even if you want to select, you can select the record, select star from user, and look here, student, these are the records present over here. Okay. And now using this, we would like to authenticate the user. So now authentication will be done on the basis of information which are present in the database table. So let us check it now. Okay, so the application is running now. Let us test it. Even suppose you want to refresh this. So look here, login page is shown. Suppose I write here user and something else, then bad credentials. Now I'm giving the correct user and password PASSWORD. Okay. So this is the data which is shown here, student. Okay. Now suppose I close it, and then when I again open any web browser, localhost, okay, start sending request, login page is shown. This time I'm giving admin and password PASSWORD, and then sign in, and this page is shown. So that add product or list product can be shown. So this is the database authentication, student, if you want to use. So you can use in this way. Remember this class, this is what you should remember. Fine. If any question you can ask, let me check just 1 minute, student. If possible, if this is the class which is used, so it will be shown here only. Let me check it. Although this is different version, so I don't think that you will get the same thing there. But then only let us taste it. System.out.println. I think the class was different that was used, but let me taste at least once. It may be different from even version to version. That is one more problem. It is different. Let us check. It is different. This time it is giving different. Okay, so encoder is same, but I think decoder was different over here. So maybe version different. What was written by me? Password only. Yes. Okay, fine. Don't use this one. I had stored that class name anywhere, but I forgot. It's okay, fine. Okay, so this is how you can test your database authentication, student, in Spring Boot. Now we will move ahead so that we can discuss one more thing so that we can conclude it. What happens, what I did to test the web service is running properly or not, we used a Postman client here. Even I told you that using the jQuery, you can test it that whether it is working or not. But it is a kind of manual testing, sometimes a little bit tough task. So what you can do, you can use one more layer of your Spring Boot, using which you can do the testing. But in that case, testing code should be written by you only, students. Okay, you should test really it is working properly or not. So let us try to use that testing, whether your URL is working properly or your service class is working properly or not. Okay, the values are being selected properly or not. That can be done. So for that purpose, again, I will take the existing project. So I will go for, I think, in the 7 version. So that dependency will work. We do not need to go for the new dependency. So I'm creating the copy of this CRUD operation, student, over here. So let me make one copy and paste it over here. Spring Boot service test tab. Now here student, you just see one folder. As I told you, in the Java folder, you will keep all the Java files that you will create. In the resource folder, there is application property to provide the properties of your Hibernate or JDBC or related to the Apache Tomcat. Then template folder is given so that what you can do, you can create the view pages. Okay, so view pages and a static folder for your CSS JavaScript file if you want to keep. So different folders are given over here. One more folder is here, available here. That is test. In this test folder, just look here. Here is Spring Boot CRUD application test.java is created. And here you can write your testing code, students. Okay. If you want, you can write the code here. Or if you want to make the different class, you can make. Okay. So that is up to you what you want to do. If you want to create different file, you can create here. So right click over here, new suppose class I'm making here. Okay. And in the class, suppose I'm writing here product service tester. This is the class that is created here. Finish. Now here again, the testing tool. Uh, Generally, I don't remember, so I will tell you. Although it's very simple code is written for the testing. So just wait. I will tell you that code. And yes, I think here it is new code. So maybe some new libraries are required. Okay. Some dependencies may be needed there. So we will include them. Hmm. Now student in the product service, which is find by ID. Hmm. One more thing, students, some extra method is needed. We should go for this file now. Just wait. Control A, Control C. We require some more methods over there so that we can test it. Just wait. So I'm taking that GP repository instead of this one. Okay. Mhm. Service simply Control A, Control C. Then DAO class. Hmm. The changes was done in which one? Okay, DAO of this one. Control A, Control C. Okay, so just look here, student, what is missing? Get all by name, it's not there. Hmm. So I'm just doing copy paste. So instead of first CRUD operation, I have taken second because few methods are there. Those method can be tested in the better way. So here what we did is, student, let us suppose this program we created yesterday only. So there is a product service interface. In the product service interface, few methods are created by us. Now we will take that these methods are working properly or not. For that purpose, you can see we are testing that the service methods are working properly or not. That's it. DAO, in the DAO, we do not create any method, so no need to test it. But here we create the method like add method, it created modify method, remove method, get by ID method, get all method, get all by name, get by salary. So these methods are created by us students. Okay. Okay. One more problem. The code will become a little bit complex there. So I will create one more method. Ultimately, there is no use of this one. Okay, let us do it. Fine. So we want to taste that one student. So just pay attention over here. So we want to check it. So just try to understand, students. Suppose I want to taste this one. Get all by name. It is returning proper product objects or not. This is what I want to taste over here. Then you have to make lengthy code there right now. So here the method is returning what list of products. So for the particular name, all the product lists are written properly or not. This is what I want to test. For that purpose, get all by name. This method should be tested. So you create one class. It should be annotated using @Spring Boot, and then here you want to test the service class. Its a reference should be created. It should be auto-wired. After this, here you will make one method. Any method name can be given. That is up to you, whatever name you want to give. Here I have written when valid name, then product should be found, or whatever name you want to give. So here display name, anything. Look, suppose I have given test one, so that I'm testing the first service method or any method. Method must be annotated using @test, so that your tool will know that the method is working properly or not. Now the method should be called over here. So that is the method name we have given is get all by name. This is the method that I called. Since it is returning the list of what should I say, product. So here I will write list of product type. And now you taste what you want to do here. Testing should be written by you, student. Whatever test you want to perform. You want to test whether the length of this list, that how many products are present or not, whether it is empty or not. So whatever code you want to write, you can write here. Okay, so that is up to you. So now here get name, and then suppose found dot here get, and then suppose here I write found dot uh, size -1. So the very last product that is added is PC or not. This is what I want to check, student, over here. The very last, okay. In the list, there may be many products. This is what I decided, student. You can check anything. Suppose you want to check all the product or whatever code. This is just Java code. So I want to take here. I want to check whether the list contain any product at the end that is having PC item in it or not. For that purpose, I am testing it. So for what purpose you are testing, the code should be written here. Maybe you want to test that the list contains how many elements, whether the elements are greater than 10 something, or you want to test all the elements. Okay, the first item is PC, second item is mobile, third item is something. So whatever test you want to perform should be written by you. But what I'm testing, I'm just testing that in this list, the very last item is having name PC or not. Otherwise, I will check it, what is there. Accordingly, we will write select star from product. The very last is AS. So I will write AS over there. Code is according to PC. Okay, so PC is there. It's okay, fine, student. This is what I want to test. So this is the testing code I have written here, students. Okay. Now, in this way, you can test all the service method. For what you want to perform the test should be written over here. Code should be written over here. Okay. And then you right click over here. After right click here, you just click JUnit test. Unit test means you are testing a particular module, one service method, one controller method, or just one method at a time. Okay, one unit you are testing. So just click on it. Okay, here. So the test method is called. Now you click on this JUnit. Here, students, suppose there is a problem, it will be shown. Please pay attention over here. I hope you can see this window. It runs one of one, means just one test is written. So your unit test means JUnit is running only one test. Although we have done only one test. Look here, in the class we have written only one test. If the test method is just one here. So this is done successfully over here. Okay. So one out of one test is executed. Errors, there is no error over here. Failures, the method is not failed. Otherwise, maybe you will get any failure test over here. Getting things, but since there is no problem, even it is showing the green signal, means everything is fine. It is working in the proper way. Okay, but suppose it happens. Let us suppose I write here APC. Obviously, for the PC, there is no APC item present over there. So in that case, it will show the error. Right click over here, run as JUnit test. Now come to the JUnit and look here, error is shown. In the log4j, it is showing expected APC, means we were expecting the result APC. For that purpose, we are testing here, students. But we were expecting APC, but found was what? PC. So the service method is returning PC, but we were expecting that it should return APC. Getting things, students? So this is how you can perform the test, so that you can test whether the method is returning proper value or not. You correct it. Okay, then you will get your data. So this is how to test the service classes. Any service method can be tested using this. The only change is what? Here in the assert, you should write the test logic for which you want to test it. Okay, simple Java code should be written by you here. Once you get the result, you test it for any particular value. Okay. If any question you can ask. If no question, we will move ahead. Fine. No question. So let us move ahead now, students. The next thing is what? Maybe right now I told you how to test your DAO class method. We don't create. So just leave it. We create the service class. So all the service class method can be tested. Like add method returning success. So whether the method is returning success properly or not. Or maybe you will make the method in this way. After adding, you should return the object that is recently added. And then you will check that the recently added object is properly created or not, because you will return that object. The value that you are giving should be written by the method. So even the methods can be created in that way so that you can test it properly. Fine. There is one more thing here, student. Even you can test your controller. Controller also can be tested. So let us create one program for it. Exactly same program will be created for that purpose also. So let us do it. Whether it is working properly or not, that we will test here. So I will make the copy of again this CRUD operation in which the controller is created so that we can test it. Spring Boot, your controller test. Now, just expand it. Again, same thing. Suppose you want to write the testing, then you should expand the SRC test Java, and inside it, there is an inbuilt class. If you want, you can write the code inside it. And if you don't want to write code inside it, then separate class can be created. That is up to you. Even in the same program you can write. I'm making the different program so that when you go through it, you can understand the things in a proper way. Okay. So just wait. I'm making the separate class. Even in this class, you can write the code. So new class, product, controller, paste. Now here again, if you want to make a testing tool student, then the class should be annotated using @Spring Boot test, even in case of service. But if you want to test the controller, controller is actually having the method in which some URL is specified you. In the controller, we write the URL. For example, here we have the controller that is product controller, and the product controller methods are given the URLs. Okay, look here, URLs are given. So now if you want to test, it means you are testing the URLs. So when you make the class to test your what should I say, controllers, then here web environment, random code you should write so that when you do the testing, your controller will be automatically executed on any port, and so that you can test it. One more thing, one property is needed over here of int type, so that @local server port, wherever your code is running now, controller is running, that port will come directly to this port. So this variable should be declared. And then one property is needed here, that is REST template. Since you are testing the REST web services over here, your controller is actually a REST web service. So that can be tested through the REST template. So its type object should be written over here. It should be auto-wired so that it can be provided. Now remaining thing is what? You can make the methods. The method name can be any and should be annotated using @test so that you can take. Here, suppose you want to write the display name and other things can be done by you. So that is up to you. So the method name I have written get product. Now look here, suppose student, I want to test this method where we are giving the ID, this one, get mapping product followed by ID. This is the URL. I want to test this one. So when the ID is given, it is returning properly product or not. This is what I want to test. Okay. For that purpose, in the product controller, what response entity? This response entity actually denotes the response that is given back by the your controller. It is always actually response entity student. If you remember, I had told you that when you return something like you are returning the list from here, you are returning the product. So what I told you, this data, product object or list of the product will be given in the JSON format. And not only the data, what type of response you are giving back and other information will be given. That is what we call response entity. So that is denoted using response entity. So here you will get the response entity, and this response entity will contain the return data. So now REST template has one method, get for entity. So suppose the method is returning only one entity, you should call get for entity. Otherwise, the other methods are given in which you will get the collection or you will get any string value. So some other methods are given. According to your requirement, you can call the methods. These methods are REST template methods, student. Okay, look here. Okay, so all the methods are given here. Get for entity. Okay, get for entity means providing URL. Get for object, suppose any object is written by you. Okay, get for any template is written. Okay, any URI is being written. So different methods are given. You can use on the basis of your requirement. Right now I will test for that method which is returning an entity. So get for entity, now using the new URL object, you should give the URL here, HTTP localhost, and then the port as I told you. When you test it, it is not like 8080 will be used. You do not need to run your project here. You are just testing the tool. So any random port will be given. So that port is given here, HTTP localhost, whatever port is taken by the tester code over here, and then it is followed by product, and I'm giving ID1. Now add the ID1, I will convert it into the toString, and then string.class means the format of this one, and then assert equals. In the assert equal, we'll write the test now. Okay, here we will specify the URL. After specifying the URL, we want to test this URL. Then here you will get the response in this response as I told you. So response.getBody means only the JSON part. Response.getBody, JSON part. You will get the JSON part. That JSON part I will test. So JSON part will be what in our case? It will be number, I think ID. So it will be product ID, then its name, and then it will be price. So whatever JSON format you are receiving should be written over here properly. You have to make this formatting yourself. So here what? Double quote ID 1, comma, double quote name, let us say CS, otherwise we will test it what is present over there. Let us take it for the one what is present PC and 90.9 something. So it is PC, after name price, and then here the price will come without double quote. So suppose it is 90.0, no 90.9 I think. Okay, so here you should write your JSON object that you are receiving proper JSON format in this way or not, so that you can test it. Okay, done. Let us run it now. JUnit test, run as JUnit test students. Okay. Just wait. Start completed. Everything is fine. Get product. Is showing yes. 1 of 1, there is no error, failure 0, and this is green signal means everything is fine. Okay. Now write down IT here. You save it. Run as JUnit test. Now look here. So now there is a problem. What is that problem? 1 upon failure is 1. So one test is failed, although we have given only one test. So that's why it is showing that our class is failed for one text. And what is that? Look here, it is IT and we are getting PC, but we have written here IT. So we were expecting IT, but got PC. So here, which test is failed? Our get product test is failed. Okay. So this is how you can write the test units, student. Test unit means you can test the methods one by one, whether the method is working properly or not, and you are getting properly data over there or not. Yes. So is there any question, student, over here? Although few things should be written as it is, the only change is what? In the assert equals what test you want to perform, this should be taken care by you. Other things are as it is. Okay, fine. Now one thing, actually when I forgot to tell you that thing. If you want to send the mail using the JavaScript, sorry, your Spring Boot, how can you send the mail? But for that purpose, you require one mail ID, your on mail ID on Gmail so that you can taste it. Because if you want to send the mail using the Spring Boot or Spring or even your JSP Servlet or even Core Java code, then you must have registered on your Gmail. After doing the registration, you will get one password from there for the third party application, because I want to send the mail from the my application. My application is third party application. For that purpose, it should be included over there, and then you will get one password. Using that password, uh, you can send the mail from your application. So I will provide you the code, student. One thing should be done by you. First, what you make one Gmail ID, and in that Gmail ID, you should go for one option there, that is two-way authentication. So two-way authentication should be done. After doing the two-way authentication, you can enable the third-party application password. It means you want to use another application to send the mail from your Gmail ID. So that should be done by you only. So very easily you can do. You can make the mail ID. After making the mail ID, you can go for the two-way authentication. After going for the two-way authentication, you can look for it. Okay, how to enable the third-party sending mail enable in your mail ID. Then you will get one option over there. You have to select that using which device, Android device, iPhone device, or any other device you want to send the mail. You have to select it. After selecting, um, you have to write any name or there may be project name or something, and then you will get one password. This password should be used from the JavaScript, sorry, your Spring Boot application, or maybe JavaScript or any other language, doesn't matter. So I will give you the code, and few things should be done by you. It will work, no need to worry about it. So for that purpose, let me make one more uh, program here, that is a Spring Boot program. So new, other Spring Starter project. Next, now you should click on the next. Now from here, I don't want to use the database and other things. Thymeleaf should be there, and your Spring Web should be there. And then you search for the mail. So this mail sender should be taken. Okay, so more than enough. Then next and finish. After making this application, student, what name is given? Yes. What application we created? I think this one. No. Spring Boot controller paste tab. File name. Spring Starter project. Okay, security 2. That was great. Okay, make it. Now mail. Send mail app, Spring Boot mail app, Spring Boot mail app. Okay. Next. Mail sender, valve, timely. Next, finish. Now the very first thing is what after taking these information, you first come to the your this application properties. Few information should be written here, student. That will be related to the to send the mail. We require the SMTP server, student. Okay, simple message transfer protocol. So the SMTP server we don't have. Suppose the company provides the SMTP server, so its information should be written, but we don't have. That's why I told you that you should create the ID on the Gmail. Okay, Gmail will provide you the free SMTP services so that you can send the mail from your application. So for that purpose, in the application.property, some information should be added. Okay, that I will tell you what to write over there. So first complete your properties file. Okay. Now here student, let the all things as it is. Actually, two facilities are given by the your Gmail. First is what you can go for this information. Host is your smtp@gmail.com. That is freely available. Port is 587. Username is here you should write the mail ID that you created. Here I have written abc@gmail.com. Instead of this, you should write the mail ID that is created by you. And then, as I told you, initially it was okay that you just give the password of the email ID that you created. Then you can send the mail very easily from your application. But now, because of some security reasons, that functionality is removed. So instead of giving the password of your mail ID, you should write here the password that will be provided by the Gmail after the two-way authentication, and that password will be for the third application. A password will be for the third application. So that should be written over here now. Okay. So you remember this thing. It will not work in case you give the mail ID. Okay, then other information will remain as it is. These are the information related to your Spring SMTP server. Now thing is what, suppose you are using the 587, then you should keep this one. Spring mail properties.mail SMTP. Here actually the mechanism that is used by your Gmail is what? TTLS. One more mechanism is used by, what should I say, your Gmail, that is this one, socket factory port. So one of these two can be used by you. So suppose you write the port 587. So let this remain as it is. This portion is not commented, student. Look here, before it has is not written. But suppose you want to use this port here. Here you write this port. Okay. Then in that case, you enable these two lines. You just remove the hash from here and you just put the hash over here, so that you can use the second facility that is provided by your Gmail. But better you go for this one only. The important part is you must be able to send the mail. That's it. Doesn't matter which mechanism you are using. So that is up to you. Both will work. Okay. After giving all this information, you should create some of the classes over here, controller classes and other, so that you can send the mail. So events, what when you send the mail, you will send what? Who is sending the mail, to whom you are sending the mail, what is the subject of the mail, and what is the message that you want to send. For that purpose, you should make the user interface. And that I'm taking the student, just simple your HTML page should be created here. So let me take it from here only. Template, timely pause, yes, timely pause there. So you take it. So here, one code is written student, so that I can provide what you just pay attention on the data only. That is the important part. So here from, and here in the from, if you want to write, you can write this thing over here. I will write the mail ID that is created by you, ABC, that is abc@gmail.com. Okay, should be given. If you want to write, you can leave it as it is, or otherwise in the value you can write it. Okay, then from information to information and subject and then message. And the code is same as the code which was written earlier, student, when I was explaining you add product through the jQuery. So that code is written over here. I will not explain it again. So here we are selecting the object. We are sending. The request will be generated for the send mail. So this will be the URL. Okay. So this code we will not discuss again. Next step, you should make the controller over here. So let us make one controller here. Right click, new class. Suppose I'm making, sorry, send mail controller. One controller should be created. Now, since student, we are sending the data for what? From, to, and message subject. Okay. So what you can do, you can keep the data in your Beam class, or you can access it directly. That is up to you. So here, since we are keeping in the Beam class, because we are sending the JSON request from here. So if you are sending the JSON request, here you should make one method that will accept the JSON request. So first you make it controller @REST controller. Okay. Then now here I will create one method public. The method maybe will return the success. And here I'm giving, let us say, send mail name, return success. It should be annotated using what I think post is written. So go for the post mapping. And in the post mapping, you specify the URL that is given by us, that is send_mail. This is the URL which is written here, student. Okay. Send mail. Okay, send_mail. So send_mail is written here. We will receive the data in a bean class. So we need to make the bean class. So what I will do, I will take from here only. I will not. Bean class, you know very well, getter, setter methods and other things. So make the bean class from here. Now, my mail name, suppose, Control A, Control C. Now, right click, new, a class, model class, my mail. Any bean can be created, what your name you want to give. Okay, so here nothing is special, student. My mail bean is created. From, to, subject and message properties are declared over here. So that data can be stored in it, and getter setter methods are created. After doing this thing, here few objects are needed so that we can send the mail. That again I will take. Okay. Just one method is needed so that you can mail the data. Okay, so here one inbuilt object is needed, that is Java mail sender. We included one dependency, starter dependency, in which there is object Java mail sender. So Java mail sender object should be taken over here. It will be auto-wired, automatically available it is. Then to keep the content, where you want to send the mail, to whom you want to send the mail, who is sending the mail, what is the subject, what is the message, should be given in the class. This is again inbuilt class, send mail message. So message information should be given here. This is what I'm doing. When the request will be received over here, what will happen? The data will be stored in this my mail object. Although you can take using the get parameter, that is up to you. So data will be stored in this mail object, this bean object, and then from this bean object I'm taking out the data, okay, get to, so that I can give it to the simple mail message. In the simple mail message I'm keeping to whom mail should be given. From here the mail is generated, what is the subject of the mail, what is the message that is present in the mail. So these informations are given to the simple mail message. And then in Java mail sender, this is the inbuilt class, there is a send method. This simple mail message object can be given to it. So automatically mail will be sent to the return ID. Okay, so this is exactly what you should do. And then success we are returning over here so that we can print the whether the mail is given or not. But right now it will not work, student. As I told you, first thing is what? The only change that you should do is what? In the application properties, here you write the proper mail ID that is created by you, and here you write the third party application password so that you can send the mail. This is what you should do, and then this program will work properly. Okay, there will be no problem. But yes, for that purpose, two-way authentication is needed nowadays, and then only you will get the password so that you can send the mail using the ID from the different application like this application. So this should be tested by you only. Right now, if I run it, it will generate the error, obviously, because even the ID is not correct and the password is also not correct. Fine, but it will work, student. In case you face any problem, you can ask this. Otherwise, it will work, no problem. Okay, it will work properly. There will be no issue. Fine. Okay, so here we discussed few things related to the Spring Boot. But as I told you, the view part is not generally created using the Spring Boot application. That should be created using, suppose you want to go for the web application. So that should be done using any React or Angular application, React or Angular project. Or suppose anyone is creating the view on Android, so using the Java or Kotlin code, or suppose using iPhone, then your script code should be written so that you can access these URLs. Yes. Students, suppose you are having any question, you can ask. Otherwise, we will conclude today's session here. Yes. Few things maybe that you are not getting, but you do not need to understand, because if you want to send the mail, you have to write the code in this way only. There is no other way. Right? You have to use this Java mail sender class, and then using the simple mail message, you should give the information, and then send method should be called. Same thing is true in case you go for the other functionalities. Yes. No question.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can you give a bit idea about how we can manage the session using Spring Boot?
Session, you want to manage session yourself. It's a very simple. Just write down that thing here. Just 1 minute. Just a second. Like MBC approach we did. This is what you want. You want to manage yourself. This is your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is very simple. Just like I use the controller, your request and servlet context. In that way, you can use. Let me share the screen. Just wait. But for that purpose, you should go for the proper approach. Ultimately, what we do, we get the session, then we can put the object or data in the session object, correct? Then you can use it according to your requirements. So what should be done by you? Let me open any CRUD app here. Although there is no login code written over here, so I will tell you in the product controller only. Okay. Here in any method, suppose here you create the method so that you can perform the login operation. Okay. So here, what would you write? user bean, correct? User bean will be here, correct? In the login.
Yes, sir.
So here what you do, you don't do, no need to do anything special. HTTP session, even you can go for the request, that is up to you. HTTP
Okay.
session, and then session, and you got the session. Now you call the methods, okay? Session dot put attribute. Set
Okay,
attribute.
just we have to use that session of attribute.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The other way is what? Suppose you want to manage it using request, then you should do in this way. HTTP servlet request, then request. You will get your object over here. Request dot get session. And then true, false, whatever you want to give, you give it, and then you can use it. Other things will remain as it is. Okay, exactly
Okay, sir.
same. Like we did in
Okay.
our Spring MVC. Now, I think in Spring MVC, I told you that you do yourself. Even in the Spring MVC, you will write the same code, student, if you need this thing over there. Okay, there also. Okay.
Okay,
Fine.
sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Except this, any other question? The method that you will create for the login, in which you write down this thing, okay? HTTP servlet request or HTTP session, and then you start using it. Although this practice should be avoided, instead you should go for, what should I say, your React view. From there you can send any token that can be received in the controller. On the basis of that, you can perform this operation. It's okay, fine, but suppose there is a need, sometimes it may require, then you can go for this approach. Like even I did when I was saving the image. That time I took the servlet context object using the request only, and then only I was able to get the path on the server machine. Yes. No question. So yes, the important part is the CRUD operation, I think, performed by you even in the Spring Boot. It's very simple. Only 20 minutes, I think, needed to complete your CRUD operation when it comes to the Spring Boot. You have to test it from the Postman, or even you can create the test tools like I created. But there you have to write the typical core Java code. So you avoid it. Because there you have to check each and everything, what data is coming and these and that. So using the Postman, you can test your web services. Okay, yes, student, any question now? So one question before I conclude it. As you told that you are aware about the React, and in the React using the Axios, you can call the web services easily. This is what you told me, correct? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So why don't you try this? You try it, okay? In the assignment, whenever you get the time, first you do these programs one by one, execute them properly, and after that you when you suppose you created any React application.
Sir, yesterday I did that. It will work fine.
Yes.
Means I'm requesting, I'm putting requesting and I'm getting response from this Spring Boot server.
Yeah. So it's really simple. You just URL. I think you know where to put that URL. So if you are putting
Yes,
URL
sir.
over there, it will work nicely. Because after getting the JSON data, this is a React code where you have to show it in the proper way. That's it. Okay.
Yes, just we have to add that attribute cross origin.
Yes,
So
yes,
we will
cross
not get
origin
that
should
cross
be, yeah, that
origin.
should be added. So that I told you already that what annotation should be used.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, so I think you can manage it. Even we have done the code here so that we can upload the image. So suppose you know how to create the user interface in your React, so that the image can be taken by the user and then it should be uploaded. So that is also can be managed. It can be written by you. So you try to use it. Okay, that will be better practice for the Spring Boot. React plus Spring Boot will be good for you. Okay, fine, students. If there is no question, we will conclude the session here now. Yeah, ma'am is here. Ma'am, no.
Sir, Vipul here, sir.
Vipul sir is here. Okay. Sir, so we are concluding session. Almost all the things are covered over here. Few things I think they can manage.